I might disagree.
Okay.
I don't believe that we will. I don't think that's a for sure thing.
I will say, I think we'll get something else that will make us go, like, whatever. But there will be something else in the future where we'll be like, ooh, why are the youths doing this? Kind of thing.
Yeah, that isn't necessarily because we'll have gotten better.
Yeah.
You know, we might not. Like, so one of the things that we keep forgetting is that, like, a lot of the reason why we evolved toward peace and did a lot of things is as response to major cataclysmic events.
Oh, so, it's a survival thing. We survive better when we're peaceful.
Right. Well, but that's not what we've been doing as humans for the whole time. We haven't been doing that. One of the reasons why we haven't had a major financial cataclysm is because of World War II.
I was like, oh, you're not at level 25. I'm sorry. I'm like distracted.
No, I have barely played this game.
Oh my god. Adam.
I don't care about this game.
I know. It's fine. It's fine. I just like had a blank moment of like, wait, I can't play? Okay.
Sorry, man. So, that is to say that I'm not certain we're going to handle this better. We might, and it's not impossible, but like I'm not sure it's going to get better. And also, I have just like a few like regulations that I get really like, this is what we should be doing. 1, internet interactions need to count as real life.
Oh, I agree.
Like,
I agree for sure.
We can't have this shit where they don't. 2,
but I think that's going to happen. I think that's already happening.
It's happening slowly.
It's slowly, and it's like the younger you are, because that's so integrated with actual life and has consequences. Like essentially, the more consequences you have for your behavior online, the more it's going to turn into like you're talking to real people.
That is true. Number 2, we can't have anonymous anything on the internet anymore. That's got to go.
That's going to be harder because...
Yeah, but we got to get rid of it. We have to get rid of it.
Here's the thing with that. There's reasons to have anonymous situations, particularly when it comes to like probably safety issues.
Like?
For example, websites for abuse victims.
Okay.
Where it's safer for them to have an anonymous account that cannot be traced back to them because you don't want their abusers to find them.
Alright, I feel like there's probably a way around that problem.
But that's what I mean. Like, there are going to be some communities that need to exist where anonymity is important. Or, like, say, for example, like, say in Russia right now, there are groups where their internet anonymity is actually keeping them alive because they're trying to, like, protest a thing.
I mean, all of this is predicated on a free society, right? Like, that's a different issue.
Right. So it's like, that's going to be harder to do just because there are situations where you kind of need that.
But I think we can all agree that it's because there's still a sense of anonymity on the internet that we're getting so many shitty people controlling our conversation.
Yes.
And that has to stop. That has to stop. Like, if you were a person that we don't want to fucking hear from in real life, you shouldn't have more say because the internet exists.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that. You know? You gotta earn your platform. This is my opinion. You like this game. Oh, you got a laser stare. Scar's no fucking joke with this game, guys. She's no joke.
I adore this game. No, I'm paying attention to what you're saying.
I know you
I'm
are.
just like,
I know you are.
I'm also absorbing the like.
I will shield you.
The vitriol that is the Adam Ganzer opinion.
Well, it's not. The thing is, you have a point about like you need like something to back you up.
What do you mean back you up?
Like in the sense of like if you're online and you're saying something, like I could see it maybe being like if you're anonymous, somehow teaching people that the more anonymous the opinion, the less serious you take that opinion.
Right.
If like we could establish that, because that at least keeps the anonymity, I can't pronounce that word, the anonymity there for the people who truly need it. for whatever reason.
I think just like,
but also
find
like
some other way to do that.
Yeah, like there's got to be a.
Like, I personally don't think 4chan needs to exist at all. Like,
yeah, I don't really see
get rid of it.
for 4chan.
You know, right? Well, a lot of shit happened there in the last like few years. Yeah, I just don't think that shit needs to happen. And it's like, if you decide you're gonna dress up and wear a clan mask and go out and burn crosses in the public square, I should be able to take that fucking mask off. I should be able to walk outside and be like, hey, you motherfucker, you're burning this cross, I burn you. And I take off the mask, and we all know who he is. That can't happen on the internet. And that's a problem.
Yes.
You know? Like, if I'm gonna be a bullying asshole, I shouldn't be protected from that. People should be like, fuck you.
You should have consequences for what you say.
Right. And do.
Yes.
And we're not... like, it's sort of like how we're still treating like cyber warfare and cryptocurrency as things that aren't the same as warfare or money. But they are. And so, like, people are getting away with shit who understand that. And the rest of us are like, well, it didn't happen in time and space, so why do I care? Because that shit's real. Like, it's a big mentality where we don't really think it's a real place. You know? That's it. And, like, Donald happened if we'd done this stuff before. No fucking way. You wouldn't be able to gaslight a whole segment of a population.
Yeah.
If it weren't for that. What was that?
Play the game. You gotta play it again.
You got played again?
Yeah, play of the game. Like, the best.
You got play of the game?
Yeah, like the best thing of the game.
I've been a fan and a supporter of yours for years.
I was just like, as a pause, I'm listening, but as a pause, like, that was cool.
Alright.
I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I also could see the other end of it where someone would... It's the consequences of your actions online for real need to happen. Like that, like, don't be anonymous on stuff. But I could always see the other end of it where somebody not being able to have their anonymity online leads to dangerous situations in real life. For example, like I do like the pole dancing classes, and like we have the option to like record what we're doing in class.
Yes.
But it's part of the reason we get to record in class, but we have to ask everybody, are we comfortable being on somebody else's social media? Because some of the girls in the class they work, and they don't want they have a persona.
Yeah.
That's, their thing, and they don't want, like, it tied to their real selves because, for whatever reason, it doesn't matter what the reason is. But whatever it is, they don't want it connected.
Yeah.
As a result, like, and stuff like that, because they don't want it connected because either danger or they just don't want to lose, because whatever other job that they have, doing this would be a thing. So there's moments where it's just like, there's a good reason to have a separate online persona than your real life.
You're gonna think I'm a total fucking asshole, but I'm gonna tell you right now what I would do. Just don't film it.
Well, that's the thing. Like we
don't need that.
Well, that's what happens is that either you have to like film around the person so they don't get filmed,
or just you can't film it,
or they have separate accounts, or it's like a separate thing.
What you're doing is describing the options that exist. And I'm saying it's also possible that you could just say, you can't film this. You know what I mean? Like, that's an acceptable option. Like, to me, the damage being done by hackers and 4chan and, like, that shit far outweighs the need for anonymous people on the internet. Far outweighs it. And we should figure out a way to do it differently. If that stuff is so important that we need something like it, we should spend some brain power figuring that out. Because
Sentry turret placed.
we can't have these fucking people with weird skills like that can control like computer shit and who are loud, awful people running shit. We can't have that.
What do you think of the idea that there's always gonna probably be like anonymity on the internet? Like people, even if they hide accounts, there's always gonna be an element.
Anonymity?
Yeah, like
it
people
will always be my mission to destroy it.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, to me, it's almost like there's a little part of it that's out, like kind of like asking teenagers not to fuck. Like they're gonna do it.
It might be a Pandora's box thing, but like
where it's like it might be easier to just teach people that there's consequences for their behavior online will probably be more productive than getting rid of anonymity.
I'm not getting rid of the internet. I'm getting rid of anonymity.
Like that's what I mean. Like it still might be more productive to cultivate a culture of behavior online where people treat it. You know what I mean? Like
but like here's where that analogy doesn't work for me, right? So like if this situation is the same as sex education, right? Mm-hmm. Well, then anonymity is not the same as teenagers having sex. Anonymity is teenagers are having sex without condoms, right? We can still have sex. Teenagers can have all the sex. The internet can continue to exist. They just have to accept that when you have sex, it's possible that you might catch a bug, or you might make a person pregnant, or you might hurt feelings if you don't manage that correctly, and you have to take all those things into account. And anonymity says, no man, you can jump in, fuck that person, and never think about it. And that's the problem.
See, I think I would have taken the metaphor as in like, if you remove anonymity, I can't say that word. If you remove that, that's kind of forcing everybody to have sex with condoms on, and not giving them the option to make the decision.
Why do they need to make that decision? Why do we need it?
Because sometimes some people don't want to wear them, or they can't, or like. It's not a good idea.
But again, nobody needs
you have to give people
them to have this.
Well, there's some people who are like, well, they want to have a kid, so that's not going to be an option. Or like if you're going to go on that
But
route.
there is no, in order to procreate, we must have anonymous accounts. Anonymous accounts are purely a luxury. Like they don't need to exist.
Because you're not thinking about the people who it protects. You're thinking of
the
people that anonymity hurts. Which, yes, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people, but there's so many people that anonymity protects that I would rather protect those people than the other way around.
I'm completely of a different opinion about that.
To me, it's like similar to like the people who get mad at like welfare and shit like that, where it's just like, for the most part, most people who are on it need it. And yeah, there's a few assholes who take advantage.
Sure.
But there's the people who are like, oh, they're taking advantage, we should get rid of the whole system. And they're just like, yeah, but like there are people who actually need it.
So wait, so again, this is two arguments now. One is that the people abusing anonymity are actually a statistical minority compared to the people that actually need anonymity. And that's probably not true. That's just probably not true.
I don't know. I don't know. This is one of those things where I'm like, I want the data.
I would too, because half the internet needs it. Okay,
yeah, like if it's a situation where it's like we just don't know because we're not in the communities where the anonymity is like super helpful, or it could be like the people who are being anonymous as like for evil purposes. They might be a small minority, a powerful minority, but the small one still kind of thing. You know, does that make sense?
I'm just not convinced that anonymity is the only solution to some of the problems that you've mentioned as reasons why it should exist.
I'm thinking thinking of also like, okay, like the kid who's living in a household who's gay or experimenting and they don't have anyone to talk to, but if their parents found out, they'd actually be kicked out of their home. Like they'd be homeless.
Yeah, but they don't have to do that on the internet.
Some of them, that's all their options are. Like there's no one to talk to in person, or they're afraid to because of actual real life consequence of getting kicked out. Like there's literally no one to talk to. But maybe finding information online either will save their life, or like in the sense of like mental health, or you know what I mean? Like that's how you find your community.
And they can't go to the library and figure that, you know?
Probably not, because if like what if they go to the library and like someone sees that they're looking at this book? It's a small community. You don't know.
I don't.
Like
that's the first hypothetical situation. I'm like, okay, I see that. But I. But I also, like, I'm a little bit utilitarian.
Because that happened on Tumblr where there's, like, accounts of, like, teenage kids and who were, like, gay, and that was their outlet to kind of, like, you know, just communicate on the internet, and there were issues where, like, they were befriending some people who were then outing them to, like, their communities and stuff. And so it was, like, a terrifying time for them because they, you know, like, they were afraid of being outed in person because their safety was in danger.
I guess, I just think there's a way to do this. I really think there's a way to do it.
I think it's you know, it depends on the community. I feel like Twitter could have a better system about, you know, promoting tweets and automatic accounts and things like that.
60 seconds remaining.
I think it depends on like how the community.
I just think that we can find a way that doesn't involve anonymity. I really do.
The thing is, as soon as you try to shut it up, like, there's going to be another community that forms. It's like, we're anonymous, and we're just going to be that.
Oh, no. You know? I know that you can't do it without government regulation. It's the only way you can do it.
And even then, oh, my God, people are going to fight that so hard. Cause that's just, I would fight that. I would not be on board.
I would be all for it. I would vote that shit into office.
Nah, I'd be like, no, because that's how you shut up groups that you don't like in general, like, as a whole, like... That to me is like a one of those
Big Brother things.
Big Brother tipping point things, like.
Oh, I don't think so at all. I think exactly the opposite of that.
Yeah, but you're also kind of like you're not part of a community that would maybe necessarily be targeted by the government.
Yeah, that's probably right.
You know what I mean? Like.
But that doesn't make my argument not true. Like. It factors why I feel that way, but that doesn't make my argument untrue.
You're like it. I mean, I guess everybody has their biases, but like
right.
But it does factor in the. You have to. It's one of those where it's like you. God, what's the word? It's being aware of your potential biases and maybe blind spots.
I think I've been fair to examples that you brought up, and I was like, yeah, that's the problem. And I think we could figure it out. Like, I have faith that there's another way to do it. You know, like, maybe it's a fucking security login, or there's, like, maybe we have sanctioned spaces for those kind of conversations that are moderated. Whatever. Like, there's a way to do it, right? But I'm kind of utilitarian about this problem, where, like, it needs to be fucking fixed. It needs to be fixed. And
okay, what about, for example, what if a sensitive medical issue you want to ask about, but you don't necessarily want that to be on your name?
Go to the doctor.
What
you need to go to the doctor anyway.
What if you can't afford it?
How are they getting doctor information online, but not going to a doctor's office? How's that happening?
Looking up pictures, asking questions in a forum, taking a picture and uploading it.
But that's... so you mean like the search history? That's the problem with that?
Not necessarily search history, going into a forum, asking on Twitter, like, just general, like, hey, like, I don't want, or like going on Reddit, for example, because Reddit's anonymous, and going into like some doctor's, like, I don't know, subreddit thing, and being like, hey, I have this thing, I don't know what this is, does anybody know what this is? Tied to your name. But you can't afford to like go to a doctor. Because
it's a really obtuse and specific place for me to like. That the whole system needs to exist because of this. No.
I think I would lean on that. Like
I would not.
Because especially when it comes to access.
Then we should figure that out.
Because of access due to, mind you, like that solution would be fixed if we had universal health care. Then somebody wouldn't worry about going to the doctor. They'd be like, yes, go to the doctor, ask about your thing. Because you don't have to worry about if that's going to bankrupt you that day, you know? Like.
Right.
Yeah, but in the meantime, maybe having
we're being idealistic here.
Yeah. If you have a weird rash and you're like, I can't afford to go to the doctor right now, but let me just ask this form. But maybe I don't want this tied to me because if my health insurance figures out that I have this problem when I go in and blah blah blah, and like
you've come up with good hypotheticals, and many of them revolve around medicine. Some of them revolve around.
Some of it's safety. Some of it's like personal history stuff.
Right.
It's essentially stuff that deals with not somebody being an asshole on the internet and using it to hurt other people. It's when you're trying to protect yourself, when anonymity comes into play.
Right. And I would still argue that anonymity is one of the reasons why those people need anonymity. You know what I mean? Like it's the inverse.
Yeah. See, transgender people wanting to discuss things without being outed because that's still a thing.
Yeah, I just don't agree with you guys. I mean, I see that you all have your points. I just don't think that we need this. I think there's a way to do it. I really do. I don't have the answer, but I think there's a way to do it.
I'm not saying it's not a problem. Like, people being assholes on the internet through being anonymous is a problem.
It's a massive culture-changing problem.
It hurts society. It's no good. There definitely needs to be some kind of solution. I personally don't think the solution is taking away anonymity completely, but I do agree that there should be something that should be done. Like, people should have consequences for shitty behavior online.
Right.
Like, that's just, of course.
We shouldn't, I think it's against human nature for people to be allowed to interact with others with a fucking mask on their face. That just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. And also, like, a lot of things you guys have listed imply that there are a lot of people who are allowed to do criminal, shitty behavior to groups of people, and that stuff can't be fixed. So we have to have this shitty system on the internet to fix it. It's like, no, those are other problems that we should fix.
Yeah, but there's a lot of problems that need to be fixed, for sure.
Right. But let's have this other thing that's in my opinion, literally subverting our ability to have a culture. So that these small problems can continue on.
If domestic violence was something that was easily actually punishable and taken care of and all that
stuff,
you wouldn't need groups where women are going how do I leave my house and do this, you know what, yes, of course, if we eliminate the reason for people to be anonymous online to protect themselves, of course, then by all means, but I don't know which thing is easier to fix first.
I don't think that you, in this hypothetical conversation, can do one fix without the other. I've never made the argument, just take away the anonymity and fuck all those people. I've never said that.
Yeah, I know.
I've said, I think that there's a different solution that doesn't involve anonymity. I still don't see why anonymity is intrinsically important. I see why people use it to avoid shitty behavior from other people or fear other interactions, and I think that there's a different way to achieve that result that doesn't imperil our fucking ability to have a culture, you know?
Yeah, and fix all other problems in society, then we won't need anonymity anymore. pretty, kinda.
No, I think that every society does a kind of utilitarian math where it's like, these are the people that are going to lose in the way society is currently constructed, and then we try to adjust it over time. That's what we do. That's what every fucking society does, and what they will all continue to do. You know? And so now it's just what thing is more important than the other.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And what Adam's telling you is, I think this is a massive affecting everyone problem. The same as I think our economic problems are actually the most pressing thing in our culture right now. Like, I think that our inability to get money out of politics is the most problematic thing going on in our country right now. That's my opinion. You know, it's not the only, but I think it's the most. Because it's choking the life out of every other issue and discussion. Can't get any progress on any of it. Because we can't get people in office who will vote their conscience or have a conscience. Because they're a fucking bot. That's my opinion. It's a little wacko leftist. But I didn't vote for Bernie because I didn't think Bernie would be a good president. I voted for Hillary because I thought she would be better at the job.
I did in the primaries and stuff like.
You voted for Bernie?
Just because I liked that he was pushing Hillary more left.
Yeah.
I appreciated that a lot because I felt I was like, well, Hillary's going to get the ticket, so I didn't feel like dissuaded by being like, yeah, Bernie's all right too. Even though, again, but they all have problems with racism. It's just what it is. But I like that he was pushing her more left, and I like that aspect. But
I like that he had a couple of simple, important talking points.
Yeah.
I didn't hear any solutions to these problems.
Oh no.
And that is alarming to me. Like, I'm like, no, I need to know that you know how to fix it. You know? Just pointing at it and saying, this is bad, is like,
yeah.
that doesn't make you a president. Yeah. Or maybe it does. Maybe that's what we learned. Yeah. Don't back down, Ruiz. I think I agree with you. I don't think it's that hyperbolic. I mean,
I don't know,
again,
I get nervous about it. We're still a pretty young country, and
yeah,
I mean,
but
we've gone through a lot of shit.
We're a country founded on racism and violence and individuals having their own property and a bunch of like groups of people who don't actually want to get along having to live in close proximity. So that's not true of a lot of these other countries, you know? A lot of these other countries, like, a group of people conquered them, and they just live there. You know?
They've been all, yeah.
Also, things just go faster. But, like, if you look at Rome, which our system of government is mostly based on, one of the major problems with it was that when somebody left office, they could be litigated by courts, which were mostly under the influence of current politicians. So it incentivized people to stay in politics forever, and they had to continually run in office, you know? And
Doc Garby's question.
becoming a proper democracy help with this problem? No.
I think getting rid of the electoral system would be fine.
But it's still got to be a republic. It can't be a democracy.
But no, still keeping the House and the Senate. Still keep that.
Well, proper democracy means that nobody represents you.
Oh no, I prefer still have a Senate and a House, but I think getting rid of the electoral college would be a step in the right direction because that was developed. When it was made, that was because the states that had slaves, they didn't want to count them as whole people.
Right.
which is kind of like, okay, well, we don't. How about we get rid of that now? Because I generally
some people benefit from it. That's why.
Well, yeah.
Iowa fucking benefits from it. You know what would be fucking awesome? Here's what would be my favorite thing. Every year that there's an election, they take all the states, like, just put their names on a card, stick it in a fucking lottery, and then, like, select the order in which all these primaries happen.
Oh, that'd be interesting. I'd be okay with that, too. That'd be fine.
Yeah. You know why that'd be good? Because California would fucking matter again.
Yeah.
Like, which it should.
But that's why I'm also, like, electoral college should go, because that, to me, even removes the big state, little state factor, because it becomes because the big state, little state thing, that's why you have your House and Senate.
Right.
But when it comes to, like, your executive branch, which is, you know what I mean? Like, that should be everybody's vote. Would be a popular vote. Like, that's just outside,
A person in New Hampshire's vote shouldn't matter more than mine.
Right, exactly.
Because of how districting works.
Exactly.
Or whatever. No electoral college and no president. No, that's crazy. Ruiz says, I think Congress needs term limits. I think what you mean is that they can only be in office a certain number of times.
I'd be okay with that, too.
Because they have term limits. It's 6 years. I don't know. I mean, having long-term legislators is good for our country in some ways. You know, like, I don't think that, for instance, John McCain, who's been in office for fucking 80 years, was bad for us in this Trump era. He might have been good for us because he was an elder statesman enough to question his own party. And that's hard to get that if you haven't had a person who hasn't served forever.
My sentry was destroyed.
Yeah. I think I'm less on the term limits with the... I mean, I think, at least personally, I think most of the problems with Congress and in general, like, it's because of, you know, lobbying is, I think, a bigger factor than... You know what I mean? Like, I think that's, like, an issue that needs to...
We also just need to find a way to have a dialogue with the people who are really conservative in our country that's constructive.
Yeah.
Because we have elected the legislative equivalent of terrorists to that branch of government. And by that I mean they are willing to blow up the establishment to get their way.
Yeah.
And that's
There's also,
not going to work.
Something that I don't think when people were making the government, like, that came into play is, like, the reason why we are supposed to have all these checks and balances is because we're on the assumption that each branch of government wouldn't want to let go of the power they have.
Right.
But we constantly watch Congress not necessarily take responsibility for the things that they're doing. Because they don't want...
individual members want to keep the power they have.
Yeah.
And they want the party that they're part of to have the power that it has.
And it's willing to... there's just a lot more... Like, for example, like, not being able to declare war. Like, Congress hasn't declared war forever.
No.
Because they don't want to have that on their... They're like, well, you know, like, the opinion... Like, we don't want the responsibility of that, so that if it goes bad, we could go, like, oh, we didn't do that.
Well, it's because of the nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
That's why. We need to be able to respond quickly to a military crisis.
But the president has that power to respond quickly to it. Like, it's like have that, like, it's in 2 weeks.
They didn't used to. It became necessary after the nuclear bomb became a reality.
This is, I think, before. Like, they had the power to, like, do something for, like, 2 weeks before Congress could step in and go, stop it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But in an era where the nuclear bomb is real, you don't need Congress to declare war anymore.
Yeah.
Because the world will be over. You know, it's fucking over.
Yeah.
In a week. You know, that's it.
In place.
I think our entire campaign in Iraq was 2 weeks. Second time. It was like, that was it.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. 2 fucking weeks.
I will follow
We had that
my
whole
path.
country. Bananas.
The enemy has taken your flag.
My sentry
Yeah.
was destroyed.
I'm also trying to think of like what. Man, it's all a fucking mess.
Sentry
I don't think
deployed.
everything's a mess. I mean, there's a lot of mess. But more than anything else, we're all watching a party lose its soul. And I believe that human beings have enough just sort of general justice in them that they're not gonna tolerate that. That's not gonna last forever. You know? Maybe it will mean multiple parties get created, who knows?
That'd be fine. I'm okay with that too.
I mean, it'd be
It'd
fine
be kind
if
of nice to have more than a 2-party system, so you could actually find your groups where it's just like, oh, I actually agree with everything that's being said in this particular
Yes.
thing, and at least there's some influence there where I don't feel like I have to necessarily sacrifice all of, you know?
Yeah. I haven't had my particular agenda items going forward in a long time.
Turret in place.
Enemy flag.
But I've had things I think are good.
Yeah.
So.
I will shield you.
Yeah, obviously, like, I've been a Democrat, like, since I understood what all of it meant. But at the same time, it's just like, well, like, it's not like, but that's just because of the country as a whole. It's like, oh, like, you guys aren't good with people of color and women. Like, that's still a struggle. But they're better at it than the other guys. But it would be nice to kind of be able to go, like, oh, there's a group that actually has influence that's actually good with those things, too.
Sure.
You know? Like, and maybe, like, fiscally conservative on, like, a couple things. Like, there's little things where I'm like, oh, it'd be kind of good to have less regulation on this thing, or, you know.
Like what?
I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but, like,
where are you conservative?
yeah, and right now it's hard to, like, think of, like, where am I conservative?
I'm a little bit conservative when it comes to war. Not military spending, but, like, I've been saying for about a year now, maybe even longer, that we probably need to do something to Russia for what they did. Like, and not just like, that was bad, Russia. Like, they need to feel an amount of military or something pressure on them to stop this shit from going on.
Yeah, I have no idea what that would be. I'm not opposed to that idea, but I have no clue what you'd have to do to...
It's interesting that you should bring that up, Star, because I haven't contemplated this issue. This is what I think we
Yeah,
should
because
do.
my mind is so not necessarily war-oriented at all.
I have a little bit of it in me.
Where I'm just kind of like, I don't even know how you handle that.
Here's what I think the ideal solution would
We
be.
must recover it.
You ready? So, you get all the European allies together, and you say, here's what we're going to do. We're going to cut them off from the internet. They go back to 1993.
You can do that?
Yeah, dude. It runs between countries. So, like, their network, it's closed in. They don't get to interact with anybody else. They get their own little shitty internet. They don't get any of our shit. And could you do it? It'd be
I was
hard,
going
but
to say,
you could
would
do
they
it.
be able to figure ways around it?
I don't know. I think if you build enough of a stone wall, maybe not. Like, here's
Because I feel also like Russia would be smart enough to go like, okay, well, we'll work with our people who are outside of the country to keep fucking with people. You know what I mean?
I think it'd be a pretty big problem. Here's another idea. Do you remember when North Korea hacked into Sony
Yes.
and stole those letters?
Yes.
Do you remember when President Obama said North Korea did it?
Yes.
Because he did. Do you remember what happened after that?
Didn't he shut off he shut them off or something? He shut off their
He shut off the country
He turned off all their
for
power.
a weekend. They were fucked for like a whole weekend. Like, it went dark over there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like it was Yeah, I was like, remember it blacking out or something.
And we didn't talk too much about it. We didn't say much. Just that happened.
I mean, that's a tinier country to do that. Russia's kind of...
Do you think we haven't planned for that? Do you think we haven't been thinking about how to do that? Do you think we haven't been thinking that shit through for decades?
I don't know.
I guarantee you. We had a news article in some publication this week that was about Russia has figured out these nuclear bombs that can go underwater and blow up undetected until the fallout hits the U.S. shores, right? We found out about this. It was in some fucking, like, Time or someplace like that. So, this technology, they started developing it in 2015, and we said some shit about that, right? And it only exists to attack the United States. It only exists for that, right? Why do they need it? Why do you think Russia needs that?
Okay. I mean, that'd be interesting. It'd be a whole new state of wars. Interesting.
We're not going to launch a bomb at Russia. We're just going to shut them off. Or shut down their water supply or whatever. You know, like, that's how the wars are going to go.
Okay.
Now, I'm not an expert in this. I have not researched it. I'm just an amateur screenwriter. That's all I am. I'm just a guy who likes conspiracies. I like it.
I mean, I'm not...
But isn't that great?
The idea of being able to be like, okay, shut off your internet for hacking our election, that feels fair.
It feels very fair.
That feels fair.
Right.
That is a possible strategic thing that does not result in maybe them sending a nuke our way, or to Europe, or anywhere. Then...
Wouldn't it be so great if we did that shit? It'd be so good. Just like, enjoy 20 years ago.
See, like, wait, what do you think?
Right. Russia's a very real threat.
Yeah, I feel...
And we can't afford to do anything to Russia.
I feel like they would lash out on the people next to them.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. How do you deal with a bully? You get a bully, how do you deal with him?
You hide and then move away from said bullies.
That's how you lose.
You hide, move away from the bullies and live your best life. You live your best life!
No. We only have this planet, bro. Like, if the first hour and a half of this stream taught you nothing, it's that you should not do that.
Live your best life?
Yeah,
That's my favorite way of dealing with bullies.
It means you don't deal with bullies. Right? That's what that means. I don't deal with bullies. And you
block them.
Wow, Ruiz is coming in hot with this.
You block them from interacting with you.
Time to raise my APM.
And
like, again, this is all conservative script shit. I'm just saying that I do think it would be fair. And
what you're saying, I think it would be, for sure, would be fair. But,
and I also think
but I don't
that
know,
we have to do something.
I think we would definitely face consequences in other, like, it's definitely a tit for tat. Because I could see if somehow some country turned off our internet.
You know why
I feel like
why we moved away from sanctions, Christian. You know why we did that. We all know why we did that. Because Trump wanted to execute him. He literally refused to execute them. This was 2 weeks ago. He was like, just having passed legislation tells the story, so we don't need to do anything. Literally.
Bailing out.
So Russia didn't pay any consequence for 2016. None.
See? Mutton Chops has it.
Mutton Chops, stop fucking explaining things to me in high school metaphors. You think I don't fucking know? I know. You're simplifying this too much.
Well, you're the one who said, "What do you do? How do you deal with the bullies?"
I used it as a launching pad for a discussion about interstate diplomacy.
Get through this. Thank you.
Christian saying, I'm saying ideologically we should keep sanctions as an option. Sure. I don't disagree with that. Mutton Chop's always starting a fight. He's got something in his craw. I don't know what happened to this guy. I don't know if he got hurt in his childhood or what the deal is. It might be because I was mean to him at a podcast, I was told. I don't know.
I'm being sneaky. I don't know how sneaky.
I don't know how you can be sneaky as this robot. I mean, I will be honest with you. Watching Overwatch is like watching a weird cartoon.
Well, yeah. That's what makes it fun.
Dave is complaining that this isn't a horror game. We're sorry, Dave.
Hey, Carrie. Alright, no, hey, it's Dave.
Yeah, I said that.
Dave, we're talking, we talked about trying to solve racism. We're talking about saving the country. It's been a
whole podcast.
It's been a whole thing to get my mind off of that horror game, so I think about real life horror.
Dave, here are the positions I've taken on the stream. You will like them all. Number 1, anonymity's got to go on the internet. Number 2, all actions on the internet are public actions. Number 3, we got to do something to Russia, and it's got to be serious. Number 4, we need to focus primarily on empathy in the conversation about combating racism.
Yeah. That's the one we agree with.
You agreed with a lot of this. You didn't disagree with that much.
I disagree with the anonymity part.
The anonymity one. Right. Number 6, that out of all the people on the board game stream, you're the cutest. That was my hot take. Star didn't weigh in.
Nah, I'm not gonna weigh in on that.
Star's not weighing in on that. But that's what I think. Fucking Dave.
Bailing out.
Yeah, Dave's gonna be bummed that he missed me playing the horror game. That was a thing. That was not good for my well-being.
What was not good for your well-being?
Playing the horror game.
You had fun for about 30 minutes, I think.
And then it was just like, oh.
Yeah.
Honestly, okay, if I had to guess when it really started becoming like a problem for me, it was like after that first jump scare with the guy in the cage.
Yeah, you didn't like that.
After that, I was just like, oh, I am now like like my brain went to anxiety mode, and it was very hard for me to like recover.
You didn't seem to have as much fun then.
Did you save the video? Maybe somebody did.
Sure did.
Somebody might have had clips.
You'll see it, Dave. Yeah, bro.
Adam took a picture of me trying to read something on the screen, and I looked terrified.
It was really good. My buddy Michelle Santoro was like, what is she reading?
Suiting up.
Demonic, biblical cult stuff.
Great. Hey, so Dave, what are you doing on your Saturday?
We're doing D&D.
Oh, I'm sorry, I meant tonight, which is Friday night.
Oh.
I apologize. I missed the D&D cutoff. I should have done that.
I'm at this point just trying to get Adam to level 25 so he can stay competitive. That's gonna take a bit though.
It's the subtle jabs that I really appreciate. I just want it noted for the record, and there is a video record of this, that I was extremely supportive of Star this whole time, and then the minute she takes over my Overwatch, she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know I was dealing with babies. Here. I thought we were dealing with a real video game player. Move over, child.
Well, I know you don't like this game, so it's like, but I was just surprised at that level. That's all. You didn't just get this game, that's why I was like, oh. you like played it twice and were like, nah, not for me.
It's just not my thing. I wish I liked it. Nobody likes the games I like. I'm the only one that likes them.
Which game? Wait, which are your favorites?
I love Destiny. I think that's what I mean.
Okay.
I mean, I've just played Dead Space.
What's that one about?
I think you would like it. No, you wouldn't like it. I just liked it. You would not like it. It's sort of like a version of Alien, the movie Alien.
Okay.
It's like a horror version of that.
Yeah, that's not gonna be for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, wait till we all get VR. It's gonna be. I'm probably never gonna step foot in a game again.
Bruce, I gotta tell you, Scar is as multifaceted and as complicated and as remote from our understanding as her namesake, a star. There's just so many levels. Like, we had a 3-hour discussion at Disneyland once about how she was going to structure her comic book. Mm-hmm. And it was like, pretty good conversation.
Oh man, we got me and my writing partner, Spencer, we were talking earlier this week about like some structural things and like little things where like the more I thought about it, I'm like, oh, that's kind of a contradiction. Like, how are we going to resolve that? Type stuff, and oh man, we made some breakthroughs, and I'm so excited.
I'm glad to hear that.
But it's like for stuff that's like way at the end of it, where it's just like, well, this thing doesn't make sense if it's this thing, and then like, why wouldn't they just do this from the beginning? And then like, we just figured out like how certain things will have to line up, and then it clicked and worked, and it was like, oh, that thing we were gonna do anyway, we could just tie to this, and then all of a sudden that makes it was just we layered it. And it felt good, and I was like, man, it feels like, I like those brainstorming sessions, because that's the part that feels like I'm reading a new story, and so I'm getting the twist for the first time, but it comes from your brain.
Yeah.
Is that a weird?
No, that's what good writing is. When writing is good, that's what it's like. It's you discover the story. It's a weird phenomenon. Like when people talk about the muse and shit, it's a real thing. Like that's how it works.
Oh wow, you got a really good skin. That's a legendary skin. It's good.
Ooh. I don't care about that. I wish I did.
It's a special event. It's the year of the dog.
It's the special event every week on this game.
No, it's seasonal.
Right.
So after this, there will be so it'll be off for a few months, and then they'll probably for like summer games. So like you'll get like an event in May. Actually, no. I think the next event you'll get. It either will be Uprising or it'll be Summer Games.
I'm thinking about growing my beard out until it stops growing.
Oh yeah, the comic on RubyWhipple.com, Ruby with an I. Yeah, 2 pages go up a week. It's free to read. And then once we have enough chapters up, we're gonna Kickstarter like a book, but the comic itself will be free and online. Just take off your ad blocker if you're on the site, please. Like that's the simple request.
Select your hero.
Actually, I want to play a different format.
It looks like Noah Byrne was on our chat at some point.
Who?
Oh, you never met Noah Byrne. He came out and was living out here for a year or so in like 2012, 2013, and did a lot of comedy stuff with us at Cracked. Mm-hmm. He's fucking awesome. He's a great guy. We should do a show together where we do cocaine and make birdhouse.
I could teach you guys how to make a birdhouse. I had to do that before.
Dave, here's my thing. It's difficult for me when you show everyone how delightful you are at me. I don't like it. Everybody already likes you. That's enough. You're embarrassing me in the chat. That's enough there.
The true enemy of humanity
We're
is
gonna
disorder.
What about? Thanks for the links, Ruiz.
Ruiz is the best.
I don't think I could ever do cocaine. I think that would be
either.
like always on.
You definitely shouldn't.
On an up.
Yeah,
you know,
you
like I don't like caffeine and I like have a weird relationship where it's like I only feel the need for caffeine when I'm sleepy, and I know when I don't get enough sleep when I'm gonna need. But if I get enough sleep, I'm fine. I don't crave it. I don't seek it out. It's just, oh shit, I got like 5 hours of sleep. I probably should drink a couple cups of tea. But really, sleep will feel better than the tea. You know?
Blow woodworking.
I don't think blow woodworking, that's great. I don't think Coke for me would be.
No, you shouldn't do it.
No.
You should not do it. You don't need it.
I'm good.
You don't need it.
Anything, especially any type of upper, I don't think I'd be about.
Dave, it sounds like what you're saying to me is like you just want to hang out. Just give me a call, Dave. We don't need to have cocaine or birdhouse. We don't need either of those.
I wouldn't mind having another acid day one day. That would be fun to try.
I've never done acid.
I did that with Dave.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Steven Universe, and Inside Out. It was, and we at the time, I was draw. All I did was draw while watching, because that's what I wanted. Because everyone was like, you do this, and as an artist, it'll expand your mind, and blah blah blah. It was fine.
Yeah.
It's not like if I never do it again, that also like fine. It wasn't like I need it. It's just
I don't want to have drugs be a part of anything. I mean,
I did it because I really wanted to see what art would be on it, and all it did was I saw a lot of like wiggles, like a lot of like you know, like the visuals I got were a lot of like swirls. I was just awake. Oh my god, that was a thing. And I think at the time we tried to figure out how cracked worked because I didn't really understand.
Okay.
And that was like part of the thing was like, Dave, how does the system work?
Yeah.
But it was fine. But I would do it if I were to do it again. I'd want to be in a like an outdoor environment. I would like to be in nature of some kind. I think that would be. I think that would be an interesting and like relaxing experience.
Here's my argument: you should.
But I also wouldn't mind just being in nature anyway. Like it's
rent out a park. Just rent it out. Get yourself.
Oh yeah, all that money.
Get yourself some acid, and then take it and just do whatever comes natural.
I don't have access to that anymore. I don't like. That's probably never gonna happen again, to be honest.
The acid?
Like no, like me getting that. Like I don't think that's gonna happen again.
He's getting acid.
Yeah.
Were you the hookup? Is that the deal?
No. I was not. It's that hookup doesn't have that hookup anymore. It's that kind of thing. And I'm like, I don't know anybody. Like I'm not. I don't have access to that information.
Dave knows. Dave will figure it out. Or if not him, Cody will figure it out. Harry Noir is trying to arrange an orgy, I think. I feel like Harry Noir is constantly trying to arrange some kind of sordid, drug-infused nightmare.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I don't think that would be good for any of all the things in that, like, nature.
An orgy?
Yeah, I feel like that would just leave you guys with an awkward situation afterward.
I don't think orgies sound fun, but maybe I'm just a prude.
Yeah, I'm too particular about cleanliness for that to work out for me. Like,
I did get a little shamed about that recently from a person I went on a date with. She just was like, you're kind of boring. And I was like, fucking really? Think of an orgy?
Like, I don't imagine. Here's the thing. I can't get over the idea that an orgy doesn't smell bad.
I mean, I've never been around one.
I've never been around one, but it just. Anytime I've seen it on like TV or like on
like bodies.
Obviously on porn, and I'm like, everyone smells weird and different. Like everybody's got a smell, and all those smells mixed together. Just for me, doesn't. I don't think I would enjoy that.
I think it would feel very.
There's
like,
gonna be
bodies.
there's gonna be somebody whose deodorant just runs out, and like it's just I'm just not gonna like.
So smells like pretty important to you.
For me, yeah.
Yeah. Is it memory associated?
I don't like. I mean, obviously it depends on the person too, and like what's going on and all. Like, it just, for the most part, I don't know. It just smells clean. Like.
What's clean smell like to you? Soap. Hair stuff.
Laundry.
Yeah.
A little sweat is fine, but just not obscene. Like,
you got some particular things with your sexual partners.
It's just be clean. Just be clean, that's all. Like, I mean, what's wrong with smelling like soap?
Bailing out.
Fucking nerves.
Take Coyote into your taxes.
Dang, you fucking ghoul. I love you. That's probably the funniest thing I've read in weeks. That really got me.
Suiting up.
We're taxes. What a shitty hangout. What's your taxes? I'm gonna use the restroom. I'll be right back.
Alright.
Fully operational.
You've been holding all this time.
No, I'm good. The fear sucks that right back in.
What's that?
The fear sucks all that right back in. What's wrong with so? I had a threadless shirt a while ago that was just a bar of soap and it said "Rub me on your butt," and I thought it was the cutest shirt. I liked it, but I stopped wearing it because I kept getting like weird people like not understanding that was a bar of soap, even though it was totally a bar of soap. And I was just like, okay, never mind. Oh, Daytona Beach is not great. Daytona Beach is awful. Where am I going? Where am I going? There we go. Forgot I wasn't playing Capture the Flag. Yeah, it's a beach town without the what you call it, the charm of a beach town. Like Key West is
so crazy to walk out and you're talking about, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. They're talking about how Dave's talking about Daytona Beach sucks.
Dave doesn't want to be a slut? What?
How Daytona Beach sucks.
Oh, sure.
And I was saying it's because it's a beach town without the charm of being a beach town.
Yeah.
Like Key West is similar to Daytona in that way, but it has the charm of being like an island and like...
I'm taking your word for all of this. I don't know fucking anything about Florida. Not one thing.
That's probably for the best.
Nobody seems to love it.
The food's good.
Okay.
The food is fine for Florida.
Is that where all the orgies are? What was the link? Can we just move on?
No, Dave talked about doing mescaline in Daytona and only coming out with the idea that Daytona sucks.
Paodium, Texas. Dave, fucking, you're great, man. You and Tom, two good dudes. Should have been your podcast, but you know, can't do everything right.
They're gonna have like 1 billion podcasts, though.
That's true.
Oh, that was a waste.
So I want to. I'm gonna get your take on this, right? You're gonna like this.
Okay.
So, were you around when I said the story about how I got offered a producing gig, but I didn't take it?
No.
So, at this point, I'm pretty pot committed to being a director. That's what I think I should do.
All right.
And I got an offer from this production company to be basically like a head of production / UPM figure for the same money I was making at Cracks.
Okay.
Right? And I was like, no. Because I need to do, let's do wine and watch the sunset. That just sounds like a date, Dave. That just sounds like a date. I wish I loved Dave. I think he'd be a wonderful partner. I can't recommend him enough to whatever subset of human beings he's attracted to. Are you attracted to women, Dave? We never talked about this. Do you want to talk about this here? I don't know. Anyway, so... Am I supposed to know this? Did I just miss it?
No, here's the thing. I don't think anybody's ever really asked Dave.
Dave, what's your thing? Are you into women?
But I
You
don't
into
know.
men?
But
What's
I've
your
just
thing?
never, like, at least for me, I've just never, like, thought hard about it. I was just like, well, Dave will let you know if you want. I guess that was in my head. I'm like,
I'm not trying to pry, Dave. You know, what's your thing? Give us a brief synopsis. I prefer women. I haven't dated men. I don't know what it would take for me to switch over there, but you know, for now it's women. Anyway, so I turned down this gig, and I'm like, listen, guys, I can't do it. I need to be a director. That's what I care about. So they're like, great, no problem. I'm big into ice sculptures. Sure. Sure, Dave. We got it. And so they're like, oh, well, let's watch your reel. They watch the reel. They like the reel, right? So then they're like, hey, so we have this client, Brazzers, who wants commercials. Like, wants to do, like, some ads.
like real, like online ads or
Funny or Die, like, video sketches.
okay.
That introduce, like, porn. You know?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. I wish everyone could have seen what I just saw. Star literally winced and shook her fist in fury. It was great. So she was like, well, we're going to have this meeting tomorrow. Can you send us some pitches? So I sent some pitches because I'm like, okay, this is a writing trick. And she gets back to me and says, the client really likes them, and I don't want to reveal the rest of it, but they want me to direct some live comedy roast show.
Okay.
They're gonna do. What the fuck is that? Do you think? What do you think that is?
A live comedy porn roast?
What is that?
It's if it's not also a porno, if it's just a roast, it's a roast.
Yeah.
Then you know, even more dirtier sex jokes, but like maybe more with exposing, but also like real personal. Like you could get.
It couldn't be that, right? You wouldn't laugh at that. Like.
But it could be. But here's the thing: most roasts aren't funny to people outside of the roast itself. That's why the roasts on like Comedy Central are like people that are okay. Where like okay, we're making fun of Bieber, or we're making fun of something that's okay to make fun of. But like a true roast amongst your friends or like a community, it's not funny to anybody outside of like the people who know those people.
Then you wouldn't film it.
Right. If that was true. If it's a filmed roast, it's still got to be for the community it's for. So I would assume it's for people who watch a lot of porn or the porn community itself. And it would be...
I haven't been able to find any footage from one or anything.
It'd probably be a lot of like dick jokes in general.
That's what I want to know. What is it? What's the content of it?
I feel like it'd be a lot of dick jokes, but like big dick jokes about like and buffer jokes and you know like fucking up money shots and you know and if you want to get dirtier, but people with their screenings and stuff, they'll probably make jokes about the condom laws and. In LA,
but just
you know, and like whose fault that we have a condom law now? Kind of like almost like you get because roast jokes to me are personally like it's too mean for me. I feel like if you love your friends, you're not like because man, roasts like really dig. They like I couldn't handle a roast, but there's people who are like that's you know like it's great for them. I can't.
I don't hate roasts. By the way, Dave, enough. I like your jokes. That's enough. Dave's trolling me pretty hard. In his defense, I've been doing this for weeks now. Oh. So.
But I mean, I would see. It would just be. It'd be a roast of dirtier jokes and some nudity.
You think there's nudity involved? Why is there nudity involved?
Because I think porn folks are probably okay with like showing their tits and whipping their dick out for a joke. If it's
Why would you need that? Like, remember, they don't have funny dicks or boobs. Their dicks and boobs are supposed to be things I want to see.
Because in context of certain things, dicks are funny. Just regardless, they're funny.
I mean, they're a funny appendage. Like, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, they're just. You could just be like, I don't know, I don't know what kind of joke that is, but if.
What's the deal with airline food? Anyway, here's my dick.
I mean, but that itself, right there, done. Like that's the joke, and you could be like, all right, I guess that's funny. If I saw that in a roast, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. You know?
Karen Noir, I'd get my tits out for a joke. This is really. I don't do porn. Better be the funniest joke in the world, though.
Like, it could be, I mean, who knows? Maybe it's a plastic surgery joke. You know?
Again, I probably shouldn't have talked about this on the stream.
Or a bleached asshole joke, or, I don't know, or a pube hair joke. Like, I mean, you can get gross, but there's jokes to be had in that world that I'm sure that community would appreciate.
I'm not belittling this at all. I
don't think you are. I think you're asking.
I'm just like, what is that? I wonder what that's like. You know?
I don't know. That's. I mean, I don't know.
Oh
like,
my
man,
god!
Like, yeah, somebody could just walk out like that, and you're just like, all right.
Clown nose plus dick equals gold.
See?
Is murdering it tonight. By the way, in order to fully appreciate what's happening, you have to remember, Dave is in his bed right now. Like, Dave's in his bed, he's just snuggled up.
With the cat probably next to him.
With a fucking phone, tweeting this bullshit at us.
Who do I want to play? Oh man, all my favorites are taken. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I'm just very curious about. I mean, so I'm gonna have more information next week, and I'll tell you what I know.
Yeah. He's so comfy right now. Aw, Dave.
I have no doubt, Dave. Dave, where are you lining up on the old people you're attracted to?
He's probably not going to answer you. Dave
come on.
Dave likes to be a mystery.
Dave, is it everyone? Is it some people? What's the deal?
It's personal, probably. I don't know.
She doesn't like that I'm pressing you, Dave, and I understand.
Well, because this is me coming from the perspective of like, he's as far as my friendship with Dave has been, he's never like been outwardly. Like
talk about his sexuality?
Yeah, so a part of me is just kind of like, well, if he hasn't talked about it, then he doesn't want to.
Wait a minute. So, 2 nights ago, you called me out for being sarcastic and not knowing how to interpret my sense of self-image. Now that's an intimate conversation to have on a stream.
Oh, that was me going, I didn't want to, like, offend you. Like, I wasn't sure how to read your behavior, because I was trying to figure out how do I...
Nobody's upset.
Yeah.
You're fine. But that's all to say, we're all friends here on the stream. We're allowed to have slightly dangerous conversations. What's the deal with Dave?
Well, mostly because, like,
It's hilariously straightforward. I know what you're doing, Dave. I like it. I like what you're doing. It's pretty good.
It's mostly, well, my perspective on this particular conversation was like, you asked once and he didn't answer, so
look,
then I would let it go.
That fuck ice sculptures. That's fine. You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. Me pushing on Dave is good for Dave. This is good for him.
Is it?
Yeah. He's not mad. He's okay.
He's comfy in his bed.
He's comfy in his bed. He's being loved and appreciated by his friend.
Okay.
You know?
I'm being protective of my friend, that's all. That's me.
So am I.
That's me going, I'm like, leave him alone. He can say whatever he wants to say or not say.
This is what people do. They don't understand that there's many ways to love Dave. You can love him by protecting him. I can love him by asking him questions, by caring, by wanting to know. I get Dave's so good. So good.
See that coming?
Star's feeling protective of you, Dave. I wish you would tell her that all I'm trying to do is make you loved. Just give me a love, buddy. That's what I do, Star. I'm one of those guys. I gotta push a little bit. Doc Garby.
Oh no, Doc Garby.
He's not in love with me. Why the fuck would anybody be in love with me?
Oh no, like my brain immediately goes, but what if he is?
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Dave, do I look like an ice sculpture to you? No.
Have you ever been called cold, Adam?
Only by people who... No, you can't answer that. No, I haven't. That's like one of the only things I have not been accused of. Spinning mad gamut. So good. Then he goes... So good.
Oh, why did I do that? I forgot what character I was playing.
So good. So good.
Looking for me? Much better.
No one can hide.
Hair Noir, Wine, and Sunset, remember? What are those, like, fucking sleeper agent words?
No, that's what Dave wanted to do with you. Wine and Sunset.
That's what made it hilarious. Because that's how jokes go. Maybe we should change the subject and ask Star who she's in love with. Star, who are you in love with? Who you got right now? Who's your love interest at the moment?
I've got a few that aren't ever going to go anywhere, so I've just accepted that that's the case.
Oh no, why not?
Oh,
they
just
don't love you back?
Oh no, of course not.
Why not?
For varieties of reasons.
Do you only love them because they won't love you back?
No. But I mean, I don't know if that's the pattern of people I pick. So it's probably my, like, there's something underlying there about being into, like, it's not even unavailable people, but it's like emotionally.
Dead people?
Nah.
Like emotionally
They
distant?
have emotions, just not toward me, apparently.
No, but emotionally distant?
A little bit of that.
Is there a theme to them?
Play of the game.
I'm trying to think now. there are themes to them, yes, but they're still all like personality-wise, I feel very different. But maybe the way they handle work is similar.
Like they're obsessive?
Work and passions that they have, but it's all like different. That all have like different things that they're into. But they have a similar, which is similar to mine, which is like being really into the thing you're into.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I always like appreciate that. But I don't know. For me, I assume it's. I mean, there's. I don't know. There's some but a lot of them there's like various different factors. Some factors are distance. Some factors are they're like just not available. There's some other factors are like maybe I annoyed them. Like they might be like, oh, that's like a thing. That's one of my things. So where it's like they're physically attracted to me, but like personality-wise, they're not into me. Like I get that.
How do you know that? They tell you, or they fool around with you and then don't. I gotcha.
That's the one. But then it's like, oh, okay, I get it. I am annoying to an extent.
What? Come on.
No, it's I've seen the I'm talking about it thing and that like kind of like glaze over in someone's eyes, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing the thing. I should stop doing the thing.
Everybody does that.
Not really. That's the thing. Not everybody.
No, you're wrong, dude. You're wrong about that.
But I mean, but I've at least gotten to a point where I don't take it personally anymore.
That's impressive.
I've gotten to the point where it's just like, well, I like if I am like I'm kind of. It's like the wearing the like I describe it as annoying because I feel like I used to be boring, and I've like molded myself after a really big breakup to be like I'm not gonna be boring. I'm going to make sure I am doing all the things that I want to do and have interests and have hobbies and, you know, like, no matter, I'm going to have fun. I'm not going to let my fun be dependent on another person, you know, like kind of thing. So but as a result, I think.
I admire that. I really do.
As a result, I think that's made me, for some people, maybe it's a little intimidating.
Yeah.
For some people, it just might be like, I don't know, like it could be a bunch of things, I could guess, but whatever it is that I am, it's not seeming to be compatible with a lot of the people I like, for whatever reason, but I've embraced where it's like, but I like how I am. Yeah. There's some things I'm still working on and trying to improve.
Of course, sure.
But I mean, for the most part, I like who I am, so I'm kind of like, well, I guess, all right, what are you gonna do?
I thought that was a really cool, vulnerable answer. I really admire that.
Thank you.
That was really cool.
Well, it's something I think about a lot because it's also like I am lonely and I would like.
Ice doesn't judge.
I would like to. Ice doesn't judge. I would like to like meet somebody that I'm compatible with, but I've also been single for long enough where I'm like, now I'm wondering if I'm in the other end of it where it's just like, oh, am I doing the thing where I'm like pushing people away because of like, but then I'm like, nah, I think it's. I don't know. People are complicated.
Sure.
And it's also maybe like I like people who I know like it's not going to work out because it's safer, like emotionally. I think there's a little bit of that in play too. But like, you know, what are you going to do? It is what it is.
True enemy.
I mean, you got to take a risk, I guess.
Well, yeah, there's also been a thing of like whenever I've been like the more aggressive person, that does not seem to play well in my favor ever. So I'm like,
But I can see you pulling that off. Like,
It'd be
I don't
nice.
think of you as aggressive.
It would be nice.
But I do think of you as being comfortable playing either part of that exchange.
Sure.
Am I wrong?
Sure.
That's not easy.
No, it's not.
It's hard. It's being the aggressor is hard. You know?
Yeah, and I've gotten to the point where I'm like, ooh, rejection feels not great. That's not a thing I enjoy.
Nobody does.
And the thing is, it's also like I don't respond to aggression really well either, because it's the same thing.
Right.
It's like I'd rather be the one making a move than the other way around. So when someone makes a move on me, I'm like, I didn't I am not as I'm not as into it. I'm not as receptive, which is part of the thing where it's just like, oh, this is also why I'm trying to be like, well, maybe, and then I go like, no, it's just. I know for me, it's like I don't like feeling like prey. So like if somebody's like obviously hitting on me and it's like, oh, we're not trying to be friends, like you're attracted to me and you're trying to get to know me because you're attracted to me, but not like me the person, because you clearly don't know me yet to be attracted to me the person. Then I am guarded, and which is also, it's counterintuitive to like most dating is that's not how that works, you know?
Well, I remember you saying a few things at Disneyland that reinforced what you're saying now.
Oh, yeah. I don't like feeling intimidated.
Yeah, you don't like that. Yeah,
oh, no, that's like, it's just like the
You don't like...
That's like anti-attraction for me. If I feel intimidated, I'm just gonna, it's just like, oh... That I just don't associate that feeling with attraction. It's just like, oh, okay, that's authority.
That's exactly the thing that I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah, you knew exactly the thing. I remember you saying that, and I was like, huh.
Yeah, I feel like my dating spectrum, I think I've only dated one person who's like much taller than I.
Yeah.
And the only way that person got around the intimidation thing is because they were really young. They were legal, but they were really young, so it was kind of easy to like be like, oh, like you're like silly putty kind of thing. So I wasn't intimidated by their physicality because conversationally it was just like, oh, like you're like a young thing.
I also don't want to keep...
I don't mind talking about it, whatever.
Okay. Do you feel like you need to control the relationship, and that's why the intimidation thing matters so much?
It's not the control, it's I don't want to feel control. It's the other way around.
But I would say those are related.
Like, I don't want to tell the person what to do, I just don't want them to tell me what to do.
But you want to control how it is.
I don't ever want to feel like pressured into making any like I guess not emotional decision. I just don't like feeling like emotional pressure or emotional intimidation.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, I don't like that kind of...
What's that look like? How does that... What's like a situation where that would happen?
And now I'm trying to have to...
Like, do you mean like being victimized by an emotionally abusive person?
Well, that's always, yeah, sure.
Right.
But like...
Or do you mean like a person who's assertive that bothers you? Like, where on the spectrum here is that a problem?
My work is not complete.
I don't want, like... I don't want to be made to feel like the things I enjoy could be like... I'm trying to think of like previous examples where like I let like... Because this is also stemming from like previous relationships where like stuff like this would kind of pop up.
Yeah, I assume.
So it's kind of like in the last relationship I was in, like, you know, I love anime and all that stuff, right?
I remember.
Yeah. Adore it. But in that relationship, I kind of kept it to myself. I wouldn't like share it because I was kind of like, not intentionally, but kind of made to feel like that it was not as valuable as their interests.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And again, I don't think it was like an on purpose thing, but it was just kind of there.
That seems like a person who doesn't understand how you work. Because if I had to pick one, like, 21st century dating thing to know about Star, it's that she's very passionate about her work/hobbies. Like, very passionate about that.
Yeah, but I used to keep that stuff to myself, or just stay online with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it would be rare for me to like find like people to talk about it with, or like find like fellow. At least in LA. In Miami, I had like my like core group of friends. Like my best friend Kelly and I, we could go on about whatever the things we were into. But when I moved out, yeah, well, she didn't like Sailor Moon as much, but we could talk about like, which was fine. Sailor Moon was honestly one of those things where it's like, for me, like, I'm okay with never having to discuss Sailor Moon like in person, because that was like my life since middle school, and it's turned into like, well, this is my thing. And that's fine. That will be mine.
My sister loves Sailor Moon so much. She loved it when I was growing up.
And it's also hard to share because it's, as an adult, it's not a show for adults. Like it's a lot of nostalgia factor. You know? Shit. I'm gonna die. Okay.
This is good content here right now, by the way.
I hope so.
Oh, for sure.
Diving into like my relationship.
Well, we haven't gotten into anything grimy or
like these are things are like I'm like, you know, like you're growing and becoming aware of it, and like knowing what you want, but also like what you would quote unquote settle for or not settle for, and is that worth it or not, and you know, all of that. See, not like ice. I wish, you know what, Dave? If I could be attracted to ice, if it could be that simple, man, that'd be great.
I used to say all through my 20s that if there was a switch that turned it off, but you could never turn it back on, I would still turn it.
You know what? I might too.
Yeah. For sure. There's so many things you do differently.
Yeah. Yeah, oh man, I would be able to focus.
Right.
But then I say that, and then I wonder, like, people who are ace, like, I'm sure they have their own set of problems and issues that I'm not aware of.
Make your life perfect.
But outside looking in kind of thing, like, it's probably great.
Hi, Zell. Welcome to this. Enjoy this content. That's very fascinating. But Dave has not answered the question yet.
He did. He likes ice.
No.
Next time you go to his house, bring him a big bag of ice. He'll really appreciate it.
I'm not bringing him anything.
If you're trying to flirt with Dave, just bring him a big bag of ice.
I'm not trying to flirt with him. I'm just trying to be his friend. You think Abe and I don't talk about ladies? We talk about them. In fact, he gave me some fucking great advice today.
What was the advice? Or if it's not too.
He just retconned a situation and explained the ways in which I misinterpreted something that happened. And I actually kind of need that sometimes, because I'm really bad with interpreting like sort of subconscious or passive-aggressive motives. I'm not very good at that.
Okay.
I'm really good at, like, I'm very direct and focused, and, like, I'm saying what I'm thinking, you know?
Is it, like, subtle stuff you have a harder time with?
I have a harder time with people asking questions that are intended to get reactions, not related to the content of that question. So, like, imagine this. So, I ask you the question, I'm trying to think of like something that's like not direct enough. This is not how I do things.
You don't deal with hypotheticals.
No, I do hypotheticals, but I don't do this kind of phrasing.
Okay.
So like, imagine if I was like, how can I do this? I'm trying not to give too much away.
Well, if it's hard to do that, then don't.
No, it's okay. I don't have to. I'm just trying to like craft it correctly in my brain. Like some version where I was like, my favorite thing in the world would be a woman who made me lunch, right? And it was like around, and then if you were going to come over at lunch, I was already in the works.
Okay.
And I was like, that's like my favorite thing in the world. And I said that not because I want you to make me lunch, because I want to see how you react to the idea of being, like, playing the role of woman making lunch. You know what I mean? Like, it's like this other whole subtextual thing.
Okay.
That's not what we're actually talking about. Does that make sense to you?
Not really.
So, like, there's two problems with that request, right? So, in this arrangement, you're already coming over around lunchtime. And I'm like, man,
that was already a thing that was going to happen.
That was what we were going to do. That's like why we're talking, was like setting up this lunch hangout. And I say, man, I really love a woman who would make me lunch. And I kind of leave it out there, right? So whatever your next reaction is I'm getting two pieces of information. One is she going to make me lunch or be open to make me lunch? That's one. Number two is, how does she like the idea of the roles being put this way? And like, does she accept this?
And this is something you do? Or is this something the other person thinks?
This is typologically something that was happening to me.
So somebody was doing something like that to you, not you doing that to the other
Correct.
person.
Correct.
Oh.
Correct. It's like that. It's not exactly that.
But it's like that.
Right. But it's like the kind of thing where I'm not even that concerned about what you say to the lunch. I'm concerned about how you respond to that request and the gender role stuff, you know?
Yeah, that feels like a trap.
Exactly. It's a trap.
I will correct my
It's not a trap, because you can't... It's not like trying to get you to say one thing. It's just a question that has a number of parts to it that you're not immediately aware of. And so you might not respond to them all correctly. You know?
Is there a correct... Like, because here's the thing, when those situations come up, there's no correct response. Or it's just a response.
There's the response that makes me feel happy with what you said. And then there's the response that makes me feel not happy. And somewhere in between, you know?
I think those types of situations set the person up to truly give you the response you want. Because no matter what, if you get the response you want, you set it up that way to get that response instead of it happening naturally. And as
I agree.
So there's no happy no outcome in that
there is still much
type of setup.
I agree.
Like, I've had situations where it's just like I will hold back on saying I like something about a person because I like that they do that just on their own, and if they become conscious of it, I don't want them to just do it because they want me to do it. I want them to do it because they just do the thing. But there are times where it's just like, oh, it'd be nice if that happened naturally, but you could never ask, can you do that?
Once you ask for it,
because once you ask for it, it's not natural anymore. But then if it's really that important to you, then just ask for it.
There is still much
depending on what it is.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, and this is like a weird, like, only, I don't know how recent this quirk is, but it's relatively recent. Where I generally appreciate when somebody asks me how I'm doing. And not in the like, hey, how are you? Like, you haven't seen someone in a long time, like the like casual, how are you doing? But the like actual like, no, actually, how are you? How was your day? How was your day? How was your day in particular? It's like a nice like, man, like that's a nice question to be asked. Even if it's like, oh, my day was fine. But just someone being like, hey man, how was your day? It's like oh, that's the thing. And I got that from my mom, because she used to like, hey, ask me like how was school, and of course you're like, oh, why are you asking me about school every day? And she would say, she's like, oh, I wish you would ask me about my day too. And I'd just be like, but I know how your day goes. And then eventually, like, as I got older, I was like, yeah, hey, Mom, how's your day? Right. Clearly just like, it's nice. It's just nice. And then me doing that for her, because she asked, because it made me realize, like, oh, that's something important, made me go, like, you know what, that does feel good. I would like that too.
I will correct
kind
my
of thing.
mistakes.
Yeah.
But if somebody naturally did that without me, like, a prompt, there's an extra tick of, like, oh, I like that person a little bit more. You know what I mean?
I do.
My ultimate is ready.
I do indeed. Yeah, you summarized how I felt. Abe explained to me how there was another layer to the conversation that I wasn't getting. Because honestly, I could be a little dense with women.
Death
Yeah.
is an illusion.
That happens.
Well, I'm like that. You know?
I'm on fire.
I feel like, not to generalize dudes, but I'm going to generalize dudes, but most
Here it
dudes
comes.
are a little
Shield generator
dense when it comes to women.
Matrix established.
Sure.
Not that you guys aren't as emotionally complicated. That's not the implication there. It's just...
We should check in when you're like 60
Fences in place.
and see what you've learned.
Oh man, honestly, I hope when I'm like in my 60s or in my 80s, I have my own, like, what is it, Quincy Jones-esque, like, just telling of everybody's business is like, if I'm the last one left. Like, oh, but yeah, back in the day, this and this happened, and yeah.
You want to be a gossip hub?
When I'm that old, sure. When I'm old, and it's like, well, what does it matter?
Who gives a shit?
Yeah, who gives a shit? Oh shit, you're talking to me? Oh, you're gonna give me more attention as an older person? Because that's also hard too? Yeah. I'll give you the dirt, and I won't be mean. I think that's the key. If you're an old person and you gossip, but you're not mean about it, you'll be beloved. Just don't be mean.
That's an interesting plan you have. That's fun.
No, I have too many I have old people plans where it's like I live in a house with all the animals. I'm that lady. I'm also like I'm also imagining myself the person who travels everywhere, and I'm like, I can't be the animal person and the travel person.
No, you can't do both.
I'm gonna have to pick.
Do you ever have kids in any of your...
If it's just me, then hopefully not. But if I end up with somebody, I'm not opposed.
Yeah.
But also there's a time limit.
Yeah.
And I'm 35, so I got what?
That's like 5 minutes.
I've got like 10 years before that's like a thing. So maybe, 10 years is a long and short amount of time. So,
Who knows?
It's for me like that part of it of getting older. I'm more upset about like, I just want to keep my options open. I hate having a timeline where because I don't know if I want kids or not. But I like the idea that it's a possibility depending on the partner.
I hear that question gets more resolved when you get a partner that you're excited about. I hear that all the time.
Sure. Because if that, I don't know, all the ice. See, all the ice. Yeah, if I meet somebody who's like, feels like, it'd be like, oh, you know what, they'd probably be a good dad, they're into it, and they want to like be like a working, then yeah, sure, well, let's just maybe give this a shot. And it would also, like, if it wouldn't destroy it completely, like health-wise, because that's also a nightmare. Like, oh man, people having kids, like what that does to you, fuck.
The true enemy of humanity is disorder.
Like,
the body or
just
time or
physical, like, man, the physicality of like you morph into like this whole other. It's like it, like, and you're like literally like the idea of growing a person inside a person. There's a part of me that's just like, ooh, this is the heebie-jeebies, man. It's just like it's a person in a person. Like, it's fucking wild. And people do it all the time. Like, it's like no big. And I'm just, oh man. Man, oof. I don't know. But I mean, it all depends on like the scenario. Am I like not broke anymore too? Because that's also a factor. If I can't afford them, I don't want to do that. And I'm still such a fun by myself. Like, I appreciate my mom. I love what she did. She raised me on her own. But I don't want. No, I'm good.
Yeah, you don't want to do it.
I don't want to do that. And also, the financial situation is so much different now that I don't think. I was like,
look at Dave.
Like Dave
Dave's
has
coming soaring in here with all kinds of hot takes.
Yeah, Dave has a niece and nephew. That's great. If I had a sibling, I'm an only child, so I'm not going to be Uncle Star. I'm not going to be Auntie Star unless I get married and that person has like siblings with kids. Then maybe I'm like, all right, that'd be cool. But outside of that, there's no Auntie Star for me. Unless all you guys start having kids, and then I'll be like that Auntie Star, where it's just like I'm that friend.
I wouldn't look to me for that.
That's why I was like,
This will protect you.
Thank you.
but it feels like everybody's like in the same boat.
Maybe Dave would have kids.
I'm at the point, like, I don't think adoption would be necessarily an option for me. Just because a part of me is just like, man, I could save. If I'm not having the kid myself, I could just save that money.
Sure.
You know, I was like, oh man, I could travel, I could go do things. I could just get dogs. Even though equating dogs to kids is also probably, like, not, it's probably pretty problematic.
Not probably. It's definitely problematic.
Here's the thing. If I had my own kids, I'd be more willing to adopt because I'm like, well, I'm already doing the kid thing. So what's one more to be
What's one more?
What's one more to like help out?
Still much
But
to
if
be
I'm
done.
on my own or like just this kind of like kid free, just be like, man, like let me just live my life.
Sure.
I will shield you.
I don't know why I'm playing. I'm like zoned out. I'm like, why am I playing Symmetra on attack? This is a bad idea.
You love it.
She's my favorite, but there's like still certain times when it's appropriate to play her.
Quickly. Much better.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do if I had a kid that like my like the worst fear of having a kid that's just super not interested in like learning anything. Like I don't care if they're a little dumb. I don't care if they're like I don't know. It's just the lack like an apathetic child that was just like who didn't give a shit
When
about
have you
anything.
even heard of that?
I don't know. I feel like there's kids who are just like they don't care about anything.
My work is not complete.
No, they care about something.
I hope so. And it's like just care about a thing. Care about a thing. You'll probably be fine. Whatever it is, as long as you're not hurting other people.
That's a really obscure
It's just a
worry.
I don't know. I had friends who just didn't give any shit.
Well,
You
they
know?
might not have found their thing yet.
I'm on fire.
Meteor strike.
Afraid of having a kid that's into sports. I feel like would be pretty easy.
A lot of work.
But like it's like you know what you're getting into. It's like here's the thing you need to play the sport. We'll get the things. Here's the schedule you need to keep
Money in time.
to play the sport. But once you know the rules of the sport, like you can communicate. Like it's easy to be like, okay, we're gonna practice the thing.
Sure.
Like I feel like there's a lot of structure in a
Definitely.
kid that likes a sport, and structure is better, easier to plan around, or for, or with.
Could be. I mean, all those rides everywhere.
Is an illusion.
Yeah, that's planning. There's gonna be rides at places anyway. Like that's just kids.
I'm
When
ready
they're
to
gonna learn to
initiate
drive.
self-destruct sequence.
Of course, it's a great album, though.
That's an album for what band?
I don't know.
Correct my mistakes.
What are you fucking talking about, Dave?
What time is it? Oh shit, it's 1. We should probably end this soon.
I mean, you were just into it, so I couldn't stop you.
I like the conversation.
Yeah. I wasn't about to ruin your good time.
It was very happening Friday night. Honestly, though, this would probably been my Friday. I would have been home, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna play some Overwatch tonight.
This is what you would have done anyway? Yeah.
Probably, like, this would have been the end of my night anyway.
What would you normally do? What's your normal weekend night like?
Friday nights, if there's not an event, I'm usually home. Like, it's my decompression evening, because it's like, I'm done with work, and I mean, I still try to draw something, because that's just always, but it's usually, sometimes I'll clean. Where am I going? I'm lost now. Why am I lost? Okay. I'll like clean, play video games, and just kind of veg on a Friday night.
No, Doc Garvey, we didn't change my mind about anything. Because as Abe Eberson said, I'm the most stubborn person he's ever met. So that's it.
You change your mind over time. You're not a one conversation change your mind thing.
Really hard to change my mind. I guess like most of the things that I believe I came to after thinking for a while about it. If I didn't, then I don't care about it.
Then you just gotta think more on
It's
it.
an illusion.
Yeah, but like that's what I'm getting at. Is like, you know, mostly my brain got me to this point, so it would need something substantial to change it, you know. Which sometimes there is.
From light into being.
But not on anonymity. I feel very fucking passionately about this. This is like, I hate it. I fucking hate it. I think it's cowardly bullshit, and we shouldn't be doing it.
Teleporter online. I have hosted for fun.
Based on this fucking album still. It's one power of love who gave me the perfect album.
The payload moves to its destination. Forward.
Can you believe how late it is, buddy?
Turret in place.
I can't figure out if you can win this game in time to...
We might. We won it. Yeah. Victory. About time. I feel like I lost like the past 3 games.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens. You go into a groove. I took it easy, man.
That's first taking a selfie in front of an atomic explosive.
That's your thing.
I checked into all these characters, but I just didn't like care about them enough. It just didn't.
You have to watch the short.
I shouldn't have to. I just don't think that's essential.
I mean, there's all an excuse just to have different characters play, like have different abilities, and they have to come up with a story around the ability.
Sure. But like again, I
bumped you up. I bumped you up 4 levels today.
I really appreciate that. And the next time you come over and play this, you'll notice that this will be the level that it's at. Like, you did it.
Mutton Chops wants this to be the nature. If these are going to be the nature of the streams, where we just get like all like, you scare the shit out of me, and then we just get into topics. Where it's just like, okay, we gotta decompress. Let's solve like some world problem right now.
Look, we're all like thinkers and artists and writers and shit.
It's true.
What we do. This is what I do. Everybody who's my friend has had a night like this with me. Like, this is what I do. I do this shit all the time. Don't you?
Yeah. Yeah. With less horror stuff in the beginning.
Well, the horror part was because you didn't want to do
So
it.
if we do this again, are we gonna play Resident Evil, or are we gonna do a
I'm
different?
only gonna play horror games with you if you enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, there's no reason to do it.
I'm enjoying this part.
Right, you didn't like the horror.
I didn't like the horror part. The horror part.
Right. So why would I do that?
Now, and honestly, I'm worried about, like, I'm gonna do Marina just because I want to see how that experience is gonna go.
I feel like that's gonna be more stressful.
But I'm worried about it being more stressful now too.
That's not a commentary on her. I just feel like.
But she doesn't mind getting scared though.
No, but
she plays,
you
like,
guys are gonna get scared more together.
Yeah, because she likes playing Friday the 13th. I cannot play that game.
I love it.
Yeah, like I don't mind. I could watch you guys play and it's fine. But I can't play that game because it's too much for me. Like that's stress the game.
I think it's awesome. What's up, Charlotte? Welcome. Yeah, I just think that if you don't like horror games, you shouldn't do that. You should play something else. Like maybe it's a run through Grand Theft Auto. I don't know.
Oh, I could try that because
Have you ever played it?
I have not because it's. I haven't played it because I realized there's no way to play that game straight. Like I would.
What do you mean straight?
In the
Like
sense
attracted
of.
to men?
No, in the sense of. Okay, so like you're on a mission and the mission is you have to get this car, but if I have enough money to buy the car.
Oh, you have to do crime.
You have, like, I would love a version of Grand Theft Auto where, like, no, you still, I mean, keep everything that's in it, but add, like, maybe a level of, okay, there's an option to steal this car, there's an option to kill this guy to get this car, but there's also an option, like, if you do that stock market scam or whatever, you have enough money to buy that car from that person,
so
or, like,
different crimes?
Different crimes that don't necessarily all involve murder. But
well,
I know sometimes,
all involve murder.
or outright, like just give me a more variety of crimes that maybe I would be a little bit more comfortable portraying.
But you haven't played this game.
No, but I've watched people play it because it's a beautiful game. It looks like LA, and that's kind of cool. It's really cool, and I mean,
it's shooting. That's what it is. It's a shooting racing game.
Humanity is disorder.
I used to play the old one on Windows 3.1.
Yeah, real old.
And even then, when I played that game, all I would do is I would take a car, because you have to take a car, and usually I took a parked car. I wouldn't take it from somebody. And I would just drive around. I would try not to hit anybody. Like, that was how I played it.
Wow.
I wouldn't play any of the missions, because I was like, no, but then the cops come after you. Why am I going to do that? So I would just drive around and try to find cars that I liked, so I could play the different types of music in it. But that's how I played it. Because I was a big old nerd and didn't want to like have the cops after me.
That's interesting. You are just a different person than me. Like you just do things different.
It's a different kind of escapism.
Yeah.
Like people I feel play that one to. It's that one's I feel a pure escapism game where it's like I could be as violent and as destructive as I want to be, and the world is relatively similar enough to real world that it's a game and it's fun, and you learn.
You got me a trophy.
I did.
The car wash.
See how I'm killing people in like big old groups? Oh, that's right. I'm wondering. I'm like, why am I like winning so much? It's because the level is low, the game is matching me up with people closer to your level.
You very kindly rephrased that.
Yeah.
I respected it.
It took a second to be like, why car washing doesn't work anymore? I was like, why is this working? I'm like, oh, that's awesome though.
Projecting a barrier.
Starring Gans complete opposites in game taste, color me shocked. Lol.
But I mean, you have that with Swain too.
Swain and I have a lot more overlap than you and I do.
Yes.
Like Swain and I fundamentally play the same games.
Swain just likes more story than you do.
Among other things, but that Swain likes ideas more than he likes
I will follow my path.
everything else about a game. Like, every other aspect of the game is less important than are these good ideas, interesting ideas. Because, like, I've been letting him get away with this. Like,
Well, it's good for the podcast, too.
Yeah. He'll say things like Zelda don't have story. They do have story. They're just not a story he thinks is interesting. You know?
Okay.
Whereas, I mean, he would disagree with me, but he wouldn't be upset if I said this. Like, Psychonauts is a creative concept, and to some degree, an interesting execution, but it's nowhere near the game that Zelda is. It's not even close. It's not even in the same fucking ballpark. You know?
Okay.
And to me, and most people, that makes it a worse game. You know? Not to mine.
Okay.
Yeah. That's one of the things we've learned over time. And also just, sometimes he thinks things are dumb and I think they're good. Like, we're having a conversation about Edith Finch. We had it, and I don't know when it's coming out, but I imagine soon, where we talked in more detail about what makes a game a game. You know, like, and how much a game does it need to be good. And I think that's a useful conversation.
Yeah, what does... There's a game, God, I forget what it's called, but essentially, and I bought it, and then my friend came over and played the whole game, because it was like something you could play within like an hour.
Yeah.
Because I was busy drawing, he was like, I'm gonna play video games. I was like, well, play this one game, it's like $6. But you're sitting at the edge, you're a person in a car sitting at an edge of a cliff.
Yeah.
And that's the whole game. Like,
Okay.
you don't move, you don't do anything. But you think you're gonna die because you don't know if it's gonna fall, and so you start just talking to yourself and asking questions, and then it gets really like philosophical. And I think there's like a talking deer that shows up that like you don't know if it's real, if you're hallucinating, but it's like one of those. It's a very heady kind of.
I bet he'd like that.
Choice game thing, but you don't do much. You're just answering questions. This is a survey, really.
That's a
So I don't know.
idea.
It's beautiful. I got it because it was cheap, and like I saw the ad for it, and it was just looked pretty, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll play that at some point. But it's one of those games where I don't know. It's a game because you're making decisions, but you're not doing much in the game, but just answering some questions.
I mean, yeah, Mike and I have had the actual philosophical debate about what is essential to make a thing a game and not a movie. Like how do you make the distinction?
Interactivity?
That's what I said. There must be... The player must exert agency in some way on the story. That has to happen.
Yeah.
If that doesn't happen, it's not a game.
Yeah. Because, yeah, the player has to make a decision. You guys should play Dream Daddy for sure, though. But that's a PC game.
I'm not gonna get a PC, and I have literally every other thing you could ever need to play video games.
You don't have a
need a
computer?
PC. No, I'm fucked right now. I don't have one.
No computer at all?
No, I have an iPad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's an issue. That's what happens.
Hard.
That's what happens when you get laid off. You know? Because I had cracked computers for years.
You should have kept your computer.
It's cracked.
Did they know that?
Yes.
No. Damn, that sucks.
That's life.
Yeah, do you know about Dream Daddy?
I know what it is.
Okay.
Well, I think of walking simulation. I don't think of it.
Traveling to Icon.
I just don't think of it.
Like the Dream Daddy game, that's also a game where like I didn't play throughout every dad. I like dated.
You didn't?
I dated 2 of the dads,
You get 2 of the deaths.
And then when I only got like a C+ or like a B on the one I actually really liked, I was just like, I'm not good at dating. I got genuinely upset that I couldn't successfully like woo the one I was actually into at like a grade level that I felt was acceptable. I think I got a C. And I was just like, I'm just bad at this. I'm bad at wooing. This is hard. And of course, the one I got an A on was like the garbage one.
Man.
It was the garbage one that I was like, I don't care. I'm just picking
really
choices, and I'm like, oh no.
Just teaches you have to not care, which is the worst thing you want to hear.
I should play as Mei, the one with the ice gun. No, Mei's the worst.
Is that why you said that?
Yeah. Well, no, he's sticking to his ice situation.
Oh.
Because Mei. Oh, you know what? Fuck it. I'll play as Mei. Is she taking?
Dave.
Where is she?
Dave, what do you like? Tell me what you like. Tell us your things, Dave. It's late now. Truth can come out in the dark. When you're cozy in your bed. Just tell us the truth. Star wants to know too.
Honestly, I'm good either way. Like, it's...
Star's been, when you haven't been paying attention, Dave, been like, I hope he answers.
It's genuinely, like, not my business, and it's fine. It's like, what is it? Like, it's not my business.
And it's fine.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attack commencing. Capture.
This is why I can't play Mei. I'm like dead right away. Yeah. I'm not good at that character. What was the question? Well, Dave, if you want to answer it, Adams just went to the bathroom.
Get ready, they're coming back.
I can't play as Mei. This is not a fun match for me. But I'm gonna play as...
Everything can be hacked, and everyone.
Adam's still in the bathroom. I will alert you when he's not in the bathroom anymore.
Check me out. Securing the point.
However, it will stay on the screen for a while if you do choose to answer it. So that is up to your discretion. Adam is back.
Sorry.
No, just like he's saying, is ice not a good enough answer?
I'm moving the payload.
Was ice not a good enough answer? No, it was not. I mean, now you've just challenged which of us is more stubborn. How do you think that's going to end, Dave?
Let's make sure someone stays with it.
The Gansmeister doesn't think so. True, I don't. You can tell from my tone I was about to take issue with that. You just like love this shit so much. What's interesting is like this doesn't vibe with everything else you like, but except for the cartoon style.
It's cartoony, and each cartoon has a Pixar story, so it's kind of in
your zone.
It's in my, and the games are relatively quick, where I could play for hours or I could play for 15 minutes, and it's like I could put it down.
Yeah. Those are silly wheels.
And then like they get me with like designs and skins, and like it's pretty.
Yeah, you were bragging about the skin you got me, and I was like,
Let's
dude,
make sure someone stays
you got
with
it bad.
Do.
That sounds like, that's like cocaine right there.
I don't think they got the hint.
Yeah, the old porn career.
All systems checked out.
What are you gonna do? Gotta make money somehow, Scott.
That's a hard job.
Being a pornographer?
Yeah.
Hora de
As
empezar
in
de
being a
nuevo.
performer or being a person who shoots porn?
The performer.
Oh, 100%. I wouldn't want to do that.
That's just like, man. That's
Also,
like,
nobody would want me to do it, but like, I still wouldn't want to do it.
I'm just like, man, that's just so, like, it's just. I just feel like in my head, I'm like, it's like what I would like the equivalent of like rug burn. Just like, man, that's just so much.
Well,
That's like too
you have
much.
to be a little less. I think you have to be just a little more open-minded about the physicality of it, right? Like,
Yeah, it's just like in my head, I'm just like, man, that's just like that's a lot of people. Like not people like the numbers, like that. Not that that's a big deal. In this, but like in my when I mean by like a lot of people, I'm like, man, you really gotta like be around be around like people in like in such an intimate way where
Yeah.
like whether you want like not whether you want to or not, but like it's a job. Like
you're fucking
It's a
people
job.
you don't like.
yeah, it's a job. It's not like that's not. It's turning something that's I mean ideally super fun. Like
Certainly
there's like
intimate and emotional into work.
Yeah, it just turns it into work, and it's like of all the things to like turning orgasms into work just feels like, man,
The
that's
thing
that's
you don't
like,
want.
That's not a that's hard. That's just hard.
This is market you have. Don't sell yourself short. Doc Garby, stop it. This is what we're trying to stop right now in the world. Just stop it.
No manches.
Back in my day, we'd have this payload delivered already.
Yeah, Dave has a point too. Like, yeah, it's just
Yeah, exactly.
it's a job. That's a job. And again with the smell, like you can't imagine this. Like you're under hot lights and like
Yeah.
sweating, and it's just like there's all
And
sorts.
they gotta take the sweat away.
You have to take the sweat away, and there's all sorts of goo and
Yeah.
body bits, and you're going in all sorts of holes, and like like you're not gonna be like all clean all the time. Like that's just like, oh, I can't. It's too much.
That's funny that those are the problems you have with it.
Charlotte wants you to narrate for me.
Why? You know what
Ya
I
estoy
say.
lista para ese trago.
Annie put it in there. And she seems to be enjoying it.
¿Extrañaste?
Both of them are enjoying it. Or whatever.
Always these like final pushes. Let me see if I can switch to somebody else right now.
Usually the sets are pretty... Yeah, that seems true. Have you ever seen Cinema Snob? No.
Me agarraste en curva.
Should I? You're gonna hate me, Star, but this is my least favorite character.
Lucio?
I couldn't figure out how to be good at him.
He swaps between. He's a DJ.
I know, but I couldn't figure out how to kill people with him.
He's not good for killing. He's a healer.
Let's get you healed up.
Like he can kill. He can kill, but he's not. That's not his purpose.
That's all I want him to do, though.
Yeah, that's not his purpose. You picked a healer to be a killing machine, and they're not killing you.
I see how you've made this my fault, and I will accept that.
I mean, there are people who are good at killing with him, but like the skill level it takes. I'm not good at killing with him.
Bye, Christian.
Like these are people who that's all they play with, and he's better at certain maps. Like this is not a good map for him, but I'm just trying to. I'm using him right now to see if I can get my team there faster and maybe heal them. But this is probably not a good idea. I was just experimenting to see if I could be, because we don't have any healers on our team right now.
I see.
So I was just like, oh, let me, if I'm gonna pick a healer, let me play Lucio. But I don't think this is gonna work out. I probably actually need to be Mercy.
I'll be watching over you.
What?
That payload
You love this game so much.
I do.
Like, she lit up when she started playing this game. Like, just different
Yeah, this is like the cleansing of the horror.
Yeah.
Your support has arrived.
Like, even Rocket League didn't really do it for her. This was
Because
the
I
game.
wasn't good at Rocket League, and I bought Rocket League. I have that at home, and I couldn't.
I like Lupa too. I like when her and Snob and Phileas collab. What is happening? I don't know what she's saying. Do you know what she's saying?
No.
No. Wouldn't it be weird if I, in order to do this gig, had to learn and have opinions about
Porn?
various porn stars?
Probably. I mean, it wouldn't. I don't think that'd be that weird. You probably need to.
Yeah, I probably do. And no amount of porn makes me uncomfortable. I'm destroyed from getting those games like Adam wants. We're talking about YouTubers? I don't know who that is.
Oh, which YouTubers?
Phileas and...
Philly D?
Over from the beginning.
Don't know.
I don't know Phileas.
10 seconds.
Pick up the pace. We can do this.
I don't think we're gonna win this one.
Satirical porn review. I'll probably have to look into that.
Yeah, we're not winning this.
That's actually not, they haven't offered me a job, so I don't want everyone on the internet talking about this yet until there's been more discussions about it. So wait a week to make your fucking jokes.
Okay.
Not you, but the chat. Sorry, I was looking at you.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I don't think they're gonna joke about. I mean, a gig is a gig is a gig.
No shit. Suddenly, brazzers get wind of this somehow. You know?
Even if they, I mean, you're not divulging anything.
No,
Yeah.
but you know, you don't want to muddy the waters. I haven't met them yet. I mean, the beans were meant to pick up more of you guys if possible. Yeah, I've heard that. Tommy Pistol was in that video that Robert did, right? I think he was that guy. He seemed cool. I liked him.
Did you guys actually keep Dave's hole a secret? Did you guys figure it out where it was?
It was quite good how they did it. Dave's hole was a marvelous joke in this thing for a good week and a half. Just one of the better jokes. You want a water? I'm gonna get a little more.
Yes.
Okay. I have other things, but this is what I'm drinking.
Oh no, water's fine. I'm probably gonna head home after, what, maybe 2 more games?
Cut to 5 a.m. and the stream's still going.
Oh god, that would be not okay. God.
I'm in bed and Star's just...
Like, I'm getting you to level 25!
Star's like out here in my living room just like, listen, you need to be good enough. I can't live without it. I don't think you ate any of this cheese.
I did not, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I got, like, the horror scared me, and then I didn't even finish all my coffee just because I think that was part of me, like, starting, I was so stressed out, like, I could feel my stomach just not okay.
Select your hero.
Don't like jump scares.
Yeah.
Attack. Let's see.
Oh, my buddy's dog likes that picture I took of you.
Yeah, Mutton Chops, anytime you want it, we could discuss racism anytime. Like I said, I'm not as eloquent about it as many of folks. And there's definitely people who are way more articulate about discussing those topics than I am.
This is not my kind of weather. Anyone have an extra coat?
It's not my preference.
Okay, yeah, this is gonna be my last game.
This is gonna be your last game?
Yeah.
Wow.
Chad makes his
Attack
state sign
commences
NDA.
in 30 seconds.
Fucking Davis Chad jokes.
Think you can keep up with me?
Sure.
Let's up the tempo. To know yourself is to be at peace.
Well, depending on...
Apparently, I've made the topic the thing people want to talk to you about.
I mean, that's fine.
I hope so.
So, well, depending on tomorrow morning when I wake up now, which I don't know, but...
It's gonna be at like fucking 10.
Yeah, but where I'm playing D&D with the fellas like in the afternoon, but I need to draw.
Right.
But maybe depending on like how much time or whatever. Because if I'm gonna draw and I'm only getting a couple panels done, not complete panels, then I'm not gonna stream that. But if I figure out that I have enough time to at least get most of the comic page done, maybe I'll stream that in the morning before the game. Because I'm trying to get enough streams in so I can monetize.
Right.
Because I mean, why not?
Why don't you just join some of these game streams and stream yourself playing?
I find it more fun to stream when like you're having a party. Like we're talking,
right,
we're talking right now, so it's easier to stream this because I'm not talking to myself in a room.
Right.
Drawing, that's fine because I'm like, oh, I'll chat while I'm working if I'm working. But if I'm playing a game, talking to myself, because I'm I'm half looking at the chat, but I'm talking to you here. Like I won't be able to read and play a game at the same time.
Right. Maggie is like amazing because she can do that. She can do like a one-way conversation where she's talking to chat and playing a game.
Yeah, that's hard.
It's very impressive. It really is. She's like a Ben Scully. She's really impressive. Yeah, Carolyn said it correctly. Maggie is very good at streaming. I was giving her shit the other day because like she says "we" all the time and it makes me laugh. We.
Oh, we moved on to the point. We got this point way faster. I was like, why is it on here? I'm like, oh, because we already got this point. Let's sneak around the back because they're not paying attention.
Taking the point.
I watched you play better games at this today than I've ever played at it. Although you just got your ass kicked.
Well, because I snuck around the back and I have no support. I was just like, odds are I'm gonna die, but they're not paying attention, so it's quite maybe.
Right.
But I'm at their entrance, essentially, so they're gonna pop out and see me. But it's enough of a cover so that my team can, like, because now they're like, oh shit, someone's at their point, and it'll give people a chance to come in.
Me to be the fake Gary Noir. I don't think you fully appreciate how funny Dave is and how much he enjoys having sex with ice. Solid, cold water.
If that genuinely turned out to be Dave's thing, I'd be like, alright.
I wouldn't be frustrated by it other than like...
It would make things simple, like, as a whole. It'd be like, oh, okay.
Sure.
They're a weirder thing. And at least that's like accessible and like not expensive. Like,
how do you feel about being set up?
I have not had that happen to me before, so I don't know. I don't know.
Victory.
What?
I never said sex. I cuddle the ass.
That's great.
That's Dave.
Being set up would be hard. I would rather have the impression of like, it's just like, if that's the case, then let it be like a group event, and it's just like, oh, I'm introducing you to my friend, and then it's just like, almost don't let me know that's what the plan was.
Yeah, but you want to put it in the ether. Because, like, you don't want it to have been like, what a nice chat they had, but nobody thought about it.
I'm okay, but see, that's okay. I'm okay with that, and then having the nice chat happen, and then later on going, hey, how'd you feel about that person? And then I'd go, oh, I don't know. I'd be like, oh, maybe or maybe I'd be like, oh, they were kind of cute, but I don't know. And then have that be the like, oh, well, if you're interested, then like...
They got a big...
Traveling to Volskaya Industries.
The whole thing was them hiding their erection for you.
Oh, that would be weird. I wouldn't want it. Nah.
They're not allowed to have an erection?
I mean, they're allowed, just I don't need to know
you don't
that.
want to know that. You want it to see.
No, let me get out of this game. What have I done? I've already like, no! Okay. No, it's a skirmish. I could leave this. Okay.
I don't think Star wants to ever end this stream. I think she wants it to go on.
No, it's fine.
Until she's out of her 30s. She's fine.
I don't even know. What's interesting, I've never considered my 40s. I don't know what that mentally is in my head.
I don't either. Ice sex is a good way to get your junk stuck on ice. Not fun.
Like...
Dave's only doing great.
Yeah.
He's just been doing great.
Like as a teenager, I thought about my 30s. As a 20s, yeah. I clearly thought about my 30s. I'm in my 30s.
But after that,
I have never considered what 40s is, or what that means, or what that represents. None of that. I have
5 minutes from now.
I have no concept of what a 40-year-old Starling would be like, should be like. Should be like is the wrong term, but like what that existence is, no clue.
Like, I'm going to be, unless something dramatic happens, I will be 40 for sure when Trump is in the office still.
Shit.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, man. 40's good.
Yeah, 40, I don't know. I just it's hard for me to imagine being 40 and also like it's dumb, but also being like I mentally still feel like I'm 25.
An adolescent or a young person.
I mentally feel like I'm solidly mid-20s.
Right.
It's hard for me to imagine in my 40s still imagining myself being.
I think your body will tell you.
I guess.
The thing that's unusual about you that for your age is that you're really active at like nightlife. Like you do stuff all the time. Whereas like most people in their 30s, including me, are like, I do 1-2 things a week, and the rest of the time I'm chilling.
The thing is, I used to do more. I feel myself slowing down, and I'm just kind of like, man, but it's still a lot of stuff. So it's just like, but the idea of like slowing down to the point where, but maybe I'm happy with it. Like if I'm happy with it, then it's just like, who gives a shit, you know? But I don't know.
It's just kind of your deal.
I don't know which version of me I'm at. Like I said, I have the old versions of me where it's just like, oh, am I the lady with all the animals? Am I the travel lady? Am I the brunch lady with the cocktails? Like, I don't know. I could imagine myself as all those people. And I feel like my 40s is probably like the beginning of turning into that person. And I don't know what person that is yet.
Are you lady who conquered her fear of orgies?
You honestly, you never know. What if I'm like that 50-year-old lady who's just like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go. Like, I don't know.
I had a friend give a very passionate defense of orgies very recently.
If people want to do
like, okay.
like, that's...
Dave said his plan for his 40s involves more Hawaiian shirts.
That's great.
Dave,
I forget when your birthday is, and I'm sure you appreciate that I don't know when your birthday is, because you don't like having a lot of, like, attention in that sense.
Dave, I'm going to pay
whenever that comes
attention.
up again, I'm going to get you a Hawaiian shirt.
Dave, I'm going to find out from your mom when your birthday is, and we'll surprise you with gifts and with being a friend, and you're going to tell me...
It's in the fall.
You're going to tell me at that birthday bash that I'm going to throw what your deal is, like what you're into, and then I'm going to be your wingman. I'm going to help you fight it. Those are the plans.
Oh, wait, or is it in the spring? I can't. When did we rent that? We rented we rented a bounce house and installed it in the back, in like that back area. And we're just like, we just got Dave a bounce house. It's not in the fall. Shit, when did we get that bounce house?
Go back and look at your photos.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Dave says it's not in the fall. Jarlin says, how do you segue naturally into an orgy? You don't. Like, you have to just bring it up.
Yeah, I feel like you planned that. Like, you're going to someone's house and that's what it is.
Yeah. Karen Noir says, that sounds adorable. I think it will be. Don't you think the party I'm planning for Dave sounds great?
As long as it's not an orgy. If it's an orgy, I'm not.
You will never catch me within 10
It's
feet
in
of an
July.
orgy.
It's a summer. It's in July.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bounce house is fun.
I've literally walked away from an orgy once, and I just couldn't do it. Like, no, it's not
I can.
It's just like, no.
I was invited to one of those like dungeon party situations, but I was just like, nah, I'm okay. I was curious enough to be like, can I, like, if I were to go, could I just like
not
participate? But that's not. You can't, like, that's not...
Is that what they said? You have to do it?
Well, not that you have to do it, but it's kind of like... Expected, and I was like, nah, I'm okay. But if I could observe, just because, like, well, I don't know, what is this about? But I don't foresee that being for me. But at the same time, I'm like, what do people do? What's that like?
I think they just, like... I mean, I feel like they just are like, you're kind of hot, let's go do it.
But people aren't that attractive as a whole. Human beings aren't, like...
You know, you're starting to sound like Jerry Seinfeld.
Like...
He had this whole fucking routine on Seinfeld.
People are visually interesting. I could always think people are visually interesting because I draw. So I'm always, like, down to look at people's shapes. Sure. Like, how's that working there? Like, how does that function? I like seeing that for that sake, but not as a sexual attraction. Like, that's not that's just not. Okay. So, like, I'm very picky. Okay. I'm very picky. So, like, it's just...
I get it.
Like, and the same thing, it's like, I could be in the room with the most beautiful people, and I'll still kind of be like, no.
Would you guys do an Eyes Wide Shut orgy real classy, like...
Real classy, like, with the mask? No.
I love the masks. Those are the best.
No, you need to see the faces. You need to see the faces. What if somebody has a wonky eye? Not that that's a bad thing, but, like...
I think you're kind of missing why the masks are there. Like, it's not just anonymity. It's to emphasize the not connection of it. That's why they're wearing it.
Well, that's even more, like, that's the problem. Like,
have you watched that scene?
No.
You should.
I haven't watched Eyes Wide Shut.
It's a really interesting movie. It's really interesting. I recommend it. It's
Tom Cruise. I don't like his movies, really.
That's a Stanley Kubrick movie.
His movies are long.
Yeah, they are.
They're just long.
Yeah, you're right.
Great networking hard. All
right, Dave. Fucking Dave. All right, guys.
Yes.
I think we had a good time. I think we've learned a lot about
Adam
each other.
has to drive me to my parking spot because
That's right.
it's now almost 2 in the morning and I'm definitely not walking
No, you
a
can't
mile.
Walk. You definitely can't walk. I definitely have to take you there. So thanks so much for stopping by, and I don't know what this will be the next time we do it.
Yeah.
But it'll be something.
Look, I'd be willing to attempt a horror game one more time.
Wow.
Because it just maybe this horror game wasn't the game.
So maybe we'll try Resident Evil.
Okay.
I don't think it matters super a lot whether I've played this game before or not. I think that's the thing we learned.
Yeah.
That like me not having played Outlast didn't make it.
And I don't
better.
know if like I don't know. There's a PlayStation camera thing, right?
I don't have one, but yeah.
You guys have an Amazon wish list, right?
Somebody could get us a PlayStation camera.
Because maybe that would be like more interactive for the chat.
Could be. And they're looking in my apartment, which is fine.
Yes, you have so many things on your walls. Very identifiable. His apartment has no art on the walls, guys. It's very bachelor.
What do you want me to do? I moved here in August and then lost my job. Everybody named Star, settle down.
You didn't have art from before? I will say,
I did
lovely bookshelves filled to the brim. Lots of books, lots of movies. All great. Just literally no art on the walls. Comfy couch. Good rug.
I bought this couch for everything. I did have a bunch of art, but it was all my brothers who were living together. So he kept all the art.
Okay.
Which is legit. Because he had good taste in art. So Adam used milk crates for furniture. Yes.
No. It's a really good couch, really good comfy couch. Like he got all the essentials. The art clearly wasn't like on the priority of I want a comfortable apartment and I need to be a functioning adult. He has that covered. He has books. He has like entertainment. He has a comfortable couch. He has a dining table. It does not look like a 19-year-old lives here. It's clean, like it's good. There's just literally barren walls. That's it. So that's.
Which for Star is a very serious criminal.
No, it's you saying like, oh, they're gonna see my apartment. I'm like, there's nothing to see. Like at least in that direction.
It's all just jokes. I don't care. It's more that you'll just see me laying around in my habitat.
You don't have the thing where it's like showing like the beer bottles and all bottles of liquor decoration that every like college boy does. Like you've moved on. Like your house looks like an adult's apartment.
I almost bought a painting, but I couldn't justify the expense right now.
Fair.
Remember, cocaine is great. Fuck ice later.
Dave.
All right, that's enough. That's quite enough.
I hope that becomes part of your D&D character tomorrow.